All right. Welcome back. The 90s were an interesting time for music. You had the end of 80s hair metal rock. New wave and electro was losing its grip on popularity. You had the ever-growing evolution of hip-hop, which would eventually explode into a major genre all its own, with countless subgenres and regional styles. Nirvana would destroy every other style out there, making grunge the most dominating sound for a few years. And we'd start to see the rise of piano-led pop as guitar would take a back seat. And of course, how could I fail to mention? We'd get our big daddy, our very own Papa Roach.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
But there at the beginning were early 90s pop rock ballads that were a direct holdover from the huge 80s rock ballads. They were missing the soaring synths or massive hairband guitar sounds, but managed to maintain a similar power ballad style without all the pomp and bloat people had grown tired of, becoming more streamlined and a tad bit simpler. Some absolute classics came out at this time, like Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, rest in peace. I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt. No Need To, Miss Raitt, Love Is Strong for You. What's Up by Four Non Blondes, an absolute staple for open mics and acoustic guitar gigs. But no one had this style down better than Heart. Full disclosure, my mom was and is a big fan of Heart. So throughout my childhood, on any given day, we were jamming out to any one of their songs. I have a major soft spot in my heart for these two amazing sisters. Heart was formed in 1973 by Ann and Nancy Wilson.
Well done!
And they absolutely dominated when they came on the scene. Nothing slaps quite like Barracuda.
Ooh, Barracuda. Oh.
And What About Love is classic 80s anthem.
But there's something that you forgot. What about love? Don't you want some?
And then there's Alone. I don't care where I am. If this song comes on, I'm belting it out at the top of my lungs. I'm sitting in church and someone's phone has this as their ringtone. I'm singing. I walk past a funeral of a stranger and this song is playing. I'm grabbing the mic in front of the body and wailing. This song just hits. Heart represented a unique position in the rock world as there were very few like them. They were two women playing guitars, leading a full-on rock band. This was incredibly rare in the early 70s when they got started, and yet they managed not only to break through, but have an incredible career with multiple chart-topping hits. They had range, not just vocal range. They could play soft acoustic ballads, or they could play some fierce banging rock hits with the guitar chops to match. About those ballads, songs like These Dreams, Tell It Like It Is, and did I mention Alone, are a mix of lyrically gorgeous, emotional, heartstring-pulling, and vocally awe-inducing. Their last song to reach the top 10 on the charts was, unsurprisingly, a ballad. It's called All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You, which admittedly seems rather overt for a song that would go on to gain such popularity, given how pop and even rock music often needs at least an air of subtlety so people don't get too, pearl clutchy about it.
Clutch the pearls, what a sneaky thing to do.
Despite its name, surely it must be a heartwarming, see what I did there?
Yes, and don't call me Shirley.
And lovely song, right? I mean, it was hugely successful, reaching top 5 on Billboard's Hot 100 and reaching number 2 in the US, as well as doing incredibly well internationally. This must be one of those songs with like a clickbaity title, admittedly before such a thing existed, but same principle. It got people intrigued, and then they hit you with some powerful and emotionally wrenching lyrics that resonated and captivated audiences, right? 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 No. This song is an abomination.
Abomination.
It is so absolutely downright skanky in its lyrics that I doubt you'd see its story as a plot on even the lowest and cheesiest of soap operas. Okay, maybe that's a stretch, but still, it's bad. So, it was in fact not written by the Wilson sisters, and instead was written by a guy named Robert John Lange, I'm not sure, or also known as Mutt. Surprisingly apropos name, as you will soon come to see. He was writer or co-writer on some huge hits and worked with artists like Britney Spears, Def Leppard, Huey Lewis and the News, Bryan Adams, and Shania Twain, who subsequently married and then cheated on, which makes a lot of sense after you see this song. The Wilson sisters were not super keen on this song, but got pressured from their label, so they reluctantly acquiesced. I have to give it to them because despite its being rather lurid, they do not hold back. The performance on the song is top, even if the content is bottom of the barrel. I'm alright with a little sleaziness. In fact, some songs are told from a sleazy point of view, like Cousin Dupree from Steely Dan. This song combines cheese, sleaze, and the absolute unforgivable sin. It's corny. Yup. There's a line so cringe in this song that I avoid this song like a person coughing while standing in line at the supermarket, because the minute I even think about this song, my brain diverts to that one particular line, and there are others, but that one line, it's peak cringe. It's a level of corny. If you try to put it on a pizza in Japan, even Japan would be like, whoa, that's enough. If you know, you know. So, let's listen. I mean, I've piqued your interest, right? I can't say all that and be like, well, said my piece, have a great day, subscribe, blah, blah, yada, yada, nanyada, whatever. No, I will see this through. My face may be irreversibly damaged by contorting from such levels of cringe, but I shall soldier on in the sweet notion that soon you too shall understand why this song, it just shouldn't, okay? It should not. So far innocuous, right? I mean, sounds like we are driving down a rainy night and we see a guy just standing by the road getting drenched. Typical Tuesday, am I right? I mean, I'd probably see that and keep on driving, no matter how attractive a man or a woman it might be, but that's just me, having grown up being told that every person on the side of the road is a murderer. I also used to live next to a prison, so such a prejudice isn't entirely without merit. So far, the music is tight. Good rhythm. I mean, I can see why this was popular, as from the start it sounds really nice. Got some lovely layered guitars and a real driving bass line. And her voice is gorgeous as ever. Clear, has body and depth. It's lower in her range, so she has a little extra grit. I mean, yeah, what's wrong with this?
So I pulled up alongside and I offered him a ride. He accepted with a smile. So we drove for a while.
Okay, so she's picked up this very damp guy off the side of the road. You have no idea what a double entendre that last line would become. I mean, it's practically an R. Kelly song at this point with the levels of euphemisms being tossed out here, but I'm getting ahead of myself. There's also something a bit unnatural about the way she delivers this line here, where she says, offered him a ride. She puts too much emphasis on a ride. Normally you'd say a ride. And this just sort of stands out to me as weird and maybe a bit stilted. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Also, the rhyming scheme is AABB, side, ride, smile, while. Not lyrical genius, but hey, at least it rhymes, though road and coat from the first two lines don't really rhyme, so points deducted there.
I didn't ask him his name. This lonely boy in the rain. Fate, tell me it's right. Is this love at first sight? Please don't make it wrong. Just stay for the night.
Here's where things start to turn for the strange. Why didn't she ask his name? Isn't it like the very first thing you do in polite conversation with a person you just met, much less a stranger you just picked up hitchhiking? I mean, either she's a serial killer and doesn't care because she's about to off him, or, well, we'll soon see why she refrains from such niceties. Then she's asking fate if this is love at first sight. I mean, that escalated quickly from, I just picked up this guy off the side of the road, to, hey, I feel like I'm in love, let's go to Pound Town. I guess hookups like this do happen, but this likely puts her in either one of two categories. Either she's desperately horny and just needs to tap the very first option that comes along, or she's a sex addict and this is just her version of Tinder. And yet, we shall eventually find out she's actually neither of these. Strap in, folks, it gets wild. We also get our first change in the structure of the verse, the last 4 lines happening in almost double the amount of time. This is good songwriting, as it functions as a lyrical means of telegraphing that we are about to change the structure of the song, typically moving from verse to chorus, which is precisely what we do. This is often called a pre-chorus. The one glowingly positive thing I can say is that this song is showing how to properly go about discussing what one wishes to do with another person and seeking express enthusiastic consent to do so. I mean, say you will is one thing, but you want it to is going the extra mile. We get a repeat of the first line, all I want to do, and then a different fourth line. That's his maybe, but does it really clarify the point of the song? Not really. I mean, not everyone has loving arms, so I guess it would be a bit ableist to just expect it, but I feel like we're in a different category of song when we're talking about armless lovemaking or making love to amputees, so I guess this does serve to let us know that the person who acts as narrator does in fact have arms that you are, should you desire, capable of holding on to them. Still, it feels like a throwaway line and doesn't really function to move anything along or further develop our understanding of the story going forward. Though to rhyme two with two is pretty songwriting for dummies and isn't wowing us with originality or complexity. But given the title of the song and consequently chorus and main hook of the song is quite literally, all I want to do is make love to you, I don't think we're dealing with dense prose or weighty poetry. I think I might have written a more complicated 2 stanzas on a Roses Are Red card that I gave away to my middle school Valentine. But then again, that didn't become a top 5 smash hit. The words, though, do subtly let us know that it would seem the only desire this person has is a one-night pass to Smashville. This person is only wanting to bump and grind, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm sure that'll piss off someone. But it would seem romance is less the goal of this particular encounter, though the previous line asking the fates if it's love at first sight does slightly contradict you there. Perhaps you mean lust at first sight? That's a story I can get behind. Hey, I just happened to pick you up on the side of the road and I see you there wet and uncomfortable in your clothes. You're very attractive to me and I've got a little wind in my willows, so what say we find a warm, dry bed and make some sweet love down by the fire?
I'm gonna make love to you, woman. Gonna lay you down by the fire.
That is a far more honest and forthcoming approach than, gee, I might have just met you, but I'm feeling love at first sight might just be a thing. Care to jump each other's bones?
We're making love, baby, love, baby, love, 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 baby.
I don't know. Look, I'm stalling because what comes next, you cannot come back from. Prepare yourselves.
So we found this hotel. It was a place I knew well.
Here's the moment where we have to stop and be like, why do you know this place so well? Why do you have a local hotel on retainer? Remember, songwriting is a medium where you want for space. You have a vanishingly small number of words you can use to get the story you want to tell to your audience. It is crucial that every line be dripping with information, subtext, innuendo, just about anything you can cram into every word you are afforded. So we have this line, a familiar hotel. Not just familiar. They know this place very well. They've been here before, leading us to conclude that this little rendezvous is very much a repeat affair. This is not some hotel they happened to find on the way and in the heat of passion decided to stop and stay the night so they can, grease the griddle. It sounds like the narrator, the person telling this story, which we are to assume is a woman, though we'll talk about that later. This is a woman who is quite regularly on the prowl, stalking the streets for attractive men who happen to be hitchhiking. She offers them a ride, gives them some spiel about this being love at first sight, offering them her elevator pitch, or in this case, car pitch, Uber pitch, something like that, and takes them back to the same hotel she always does and gives them the old dip in the pool. Make the beast with two backs, visit the bone zone, tuck the tuna in the poke bowl, hop on the good foot and do the bad thing, park the beef bus in Tuna Town, make baby gravy in the Velvet Vault, ride the long dragon down the Thunder Dungeon, slide the Cadillac into the Sugar Shack. Come on, I don't want to. Please, let's just stop here. Trust me. Ugh, fine. Cue the next verse while I prepare the bucket.
Better get a bucket, I'm gonna throw up.
Well, we made magic that night. Oh, he did everything right.
Why did I ever think? I could have done something with my life. I could have been a porn star. I could have been a professional hat maker. I could have been a hen teaser.
Che cosa? È la stuzzicatore di porno.
So, I hate this. I hate it. This is just the grossest, most vile way of saying you brought the Muffin Man to the Muff Factory, okay? So now that you've been sullied, your ears violated, and your mind's destroyed, this is just corny. This is not even why this song is truly bad. It's the mountain you have to climb in order to plummet from the summit down to the depths of depravity where this song eventually leads you down. And if you are able to unfurrow your brow, if you are capable of even entertaining another word, I can at least assure you we have just surpassed the Mount Everest of cringe. Oh, that's a good one. Take your Biggie Shackleton to Mount Her Everest. I have to find some way to bring us past this. Are you able to go on? It's just a little bit more.
He brought the woman to me so many times, easily.
I'm out. Nope. Okay, all right, look, it's not as bad, but admittedly, it's just bad. It's past cringe. It's into the ick zone. Look, I have to pause to remind you that this was written by a man to be sung by a woman. Just ew.
And in the morning when you woke, all I left you in was a note.
Firmly cementing that this was a true one-night stand, where she leaves in the morning with a note probably on the one-night stand in the hotel room. I hope she paid for it, because that would be a real dick move to bounce and leave him to pay for the hotel, especially considering he was hitchhiking when she found him and possibly not all that, cash liquid. Get to the pre-chorus already.
I told him I am the flower, you are the sea. We walked in the garden, we planted a tree. Don't try to find me, please don't you dare. Just live in my memory, you'll always be there.
What? I'm the flower, you are the seed. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean he's her father?
It was my father.
I mean, doesn't the seed make the flower? This is where the song goes completely off the rails. It's not the part I keep warning you about. No, this is something different. Remember how I said this isn't deep poetry? It's like all of a sudden the writer felt like breaking out their poetry chops, only they don't have any. We walked in the garden? Is that the euphemism? The magic they... Oh, if I finish that, my soul will leave my body. But is that the euphemism we're going with? We planted a tree? You'll soon smell what she's cooking here, but remember, she just thrust the plunger in the bowl, and she's bouncing before he has a chance to wake up, and this is what she chooses to write? It makes her intentions all the more evident and all the more creepy, but we'll soon get to all that. First, the rest of this pre-chorus, which admittedly is kind of cool because we've changed the beat of the lyrics, cramming more in, speeding them up, and making them seem more frenetic and off the cuff, as she might be quickly trying to jot down a note on a napkin before the guy she just wrestled the mania out of wakes from his love coma. They sing the chorus again, and again the first line after "all I want to do is make love to you" is... I mean, yeah, we got that much. The chorus really doesn't shine, does it? The verses have this nice gradual build-up, and though the guy in our story seems to be able to rub the genie out of the lamp multiple times, the chorus suffers from a bit of premature articulation. The first time you hear it, it fits the narrative, but the second time rolls around, it doesn't really diegetically make sense. In the story, they've already hid the clown in the rodeo barrel, so to then turn around and say, "all I want to do is make love to you," knowing full well that at this point in the song, she's probably already made it back to her house by now. It just doesn't really make sense. The fourth line, again, after "all I want to do," etc., is the exact same as before, so let it be known that she is in fact not missing arms, which seems absolutely pointless given that the only thing he can hold on to at this point is a piece of paper. Then we're subjected to the bridge, which, well, listen to this.
That's so stupid.
It's like the song almost became self-aware just then. It's like she so wanted to say, "oh, we made love like rabbits." But love like strangers? Like, are strangers as a species known for their absolute love-making prowess? The next time I want to ride the midnight train to Georgia, I think my brain now is just subconsciously giving up and trying to put other good songs in there. But the next time I want to slide my Hot Pocket into the warming sheath,
Hot Pockets!
I need to go find an absolute stranger, because that, my friends, is what absolutely slaps. It's so bad, the bridge just sort of peters out. It has got to be one of the weakest bridges to a song I've ever heard. It's like the song itself doesn't want to waste any more time and is hurrying itself along. So as we move to the next verse, we finally get the part of the song that makes it completely irredeemable. Oh, you thought it was already past all that. Oh no, sweet summer child. No, what follows is some of the creepiest, ickiest, nastiest you could possibly imagine. If you don't know, venture a guess. What do you think she's going to say? Put it in the comments. Seriously, pause this video right now and venture a guess. Some of you will probably get close, but I doubt you'll be able to fully capture the depths of ew that is approaching. Unpause at your own risk and be warned. Once you know this, you will never listen to this song again in the same way.
Then it happened one day, we came around the same way.
So you'll notice the subtle "we" came around the same way. She's not alone. She's with someone. Maybe her lover, maybe an entourage, maybe she's with a mariachi band. Who knows? But she's not alone, and she's in the neighborhood where she picked up this previous one-night stand man. Then this.
You can imagine his surprise when he saw his own eyes.
So at first you might be like, she's walking around with a mirror in front of her face. But no, as funny as that interpretation might be, and as far more wholesome as that would be, no, he sees his own eyes staring back at him in the form of a child.
A child?
So this must be awkward, as she sees this guy who undoubtedly noticed her and probably walked up to say, hey, I mean, he's a guy. If he thinks there might be a chance at a second round,
I'm in there.
he's going to give it the old college try. He strolls up to her and looks down to see a child that is undoubtedly his. He's freaking out, probably speechless, and likely looking at her with some very powerful Whiskey Tango Foxtrot energy. Then, brace yourself, she says this.
I said, please understand. I'm in love with another man.
Okay, that's not really all that surprising thing for her to say. No, it's this.
And what he couldn't give me, was the one little thing that you can.
And there it is.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
Never has one line so quickly and magnanimously condemned a song. I mean, imagine if R. Kelly's song had been like, there ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind for a preteen. It's a lyrical incendiary device that torches any possibility this song had at being redeemable. She looks this guy dead in the eye and is like, yo, play it cool. I got a man's. He's obviously not the baby daddy, but he don't know that his protein powder was whey substitute, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, he's dropping like Drake when you're out there crushing it like Kendrick. He's shooting blanks like a Western and you're popping off like a gang turf war. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I got what I wanted from you, so just, go away. What the hell? What he couldn't give me was the one little thing you can. What, his strong swimmers? A child?
A child.
Imagine being the guy in this situation. You just realized you have a child and the woman you had this encounter with is like, nah, I got what I wanted from you. You can piss off. Also, what would this say about the woman telling this story? She's telling us that she trolls the damp streets, looking to make a baby with the first bloke she can get to ride the gondola down the slopes because her man doesn't have the active yeast to put a bun in her oven. She's cheating on her paramour with the sole purpose of breeding and isn't planning on letting her beau know it's not his brood? Imagine being that guy.
Sir not appearing in this film.
Deeply in love with likely your wife and being elated to find out she's pregnant. All the while, your wife is effectively cuckooing you on purpose. The cuckoo is the bird that puts its eggs in other birds' nests and has them raise it for them, which is where we get the word cuck from. You'd better hope he never finds out, or that guy you've ridden the monorail all the way downtown into Pound Town isn't going to want to have access to his child, which he would be within his rights, and something that would devastate the one you say you are in love with. This is less the subject matter of a song and more a Jerry Springer deep cut. This completely ruins this song for me and makes the song so much more morally bankrupt than it would have been had they left it out. It's not even the fact that a woman could use a guy just to get pregnant. It's not even the fact that this paints women's sexuality in a bad light and continues the narrative that women regularly lie about sex for their own personal gain, which ties into a narrative that women falsely accuse men or have sex with them to try to trap them into a relationship by having a child to get money or them or what. None of this is good. But what really sets this over the top is summed up perfectly by the lead singer of Heart herself, and I quote, "It's not just us. It's a song by a man who wrote about a woman picking up a guy and using him for sex to have a baby. It's not the kind of empowering story we would have chosen to tell." When you realize their label pushed this on them and that it was written by a man for them to sing, knowing it was to be sung and performed by two women, it's just Russian Dolls levels of ick that I can't get past. It's an absolute tour de force in misogyny and nested sexism that would take me more time to unpack than I care to even bother for this song. It's also some weird twisted fantasy where the guy gets to bury his Excalibur in the stone unsheathed and then never has to suffer any consequences, even when there's a child involved. It's just so gross on so many levels. It's an onion of cringe, a complete parfait of perversion.
You know what else everybody like? Parfaits.
No! Parfait of perversion.
Does that sound good to you? No, not really, no.
The sad thing is, it's not a bad sounding song. The production on the song is amazing. The guitar sounds are lush, and there's plenty of that early 90s cheese verb that you'll find on all these ballads. And that may sound like a dig, but come on, who doesn't like a little extra cheese? The performance was great. I don't take issue with any of that. The deliveries on some of the lines were a little stilted, but that's down to the lyrics being child's first rhyming dictionary levels of simplistic and cliched. I mean, no new ground was broken on the technical aspects of this song. It isn't super intricate or complex chord structures or anything like that. It was early 90s. We didn't need to be. We weren't looking for Steely Dan. We just wanted some soapy ballad we could raise our lighters to at the concert. What we weren't looking for is some dude's super specific by proxy cuck impregnation fantasy. I mean, that's a pretty obscure tab on P-Hub for sure. Today, the Hart, or rather Wilson sisters, who have had a bit of a falling out and sort of stopped working together for quite a while, both of them refused to perform this song live, so I don't take any issue with, well, me taking issue with it. I stand by my critique, and I'm not the only one who feels this way. Given the people who recorded it aren't too keen on it either, it puts me in good company. Plus, I got Barracuda and Alone, two of my all-time favorite songs of that era to rock out to, so I can swiftly and firmly and without remorse remove this song from my ears anytime it insists on invading my sound privacy. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, all I can give you is my sincerest apologies. I can't give you money back because you didn't pay anything, but if you have enjoyed the unique perspectives of this Cilia Sodus, then perhaps you're the kind of person who enjoys the cheekier side of things. And if that's true, then you really should give this a like and subscribe. Also ring the bell. In fact, ring it a few times if this video helped you, glide the plane into the banger hanger. Also, be sure to share this with all your friends because if they're anything like you, they'll no doubt be on the lookout for things that tickle their tackle. If you're still here after I've finished my pointless ramblings, I'll be sure to have something to make it worth your while. If you like these kinds of projects and want to see more, tough. I'll only do more if you promise to stand outside my window with a boombox and play Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love and sing along at the top of your lungs. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. So, normally at this stage of the video, I just give a little clip or something for those who stick around till the end, but today is special. Today's a special treat. As I was wrapping up the main part of this video, I realized I didn't talk about the video at all. I talked about the song, I did this lyric deep dive, but I never even once mentioned what was going on in the video. So I decided at the end here, for those true warriors who are ride or die, who's sticking it out to the end, I'm going to talk about the real love story in this video, the real one, okay? You didn't notice it. It was going on in the background this whole time. And it is, oh my God, it is so much more wholesome and so much better than anything this song brought us at face value. So without further ado, I'm going to react to this incredibly boring video and talk about things. I'm listening with the sound off so I can just look at the video. So let's do it. All right, twirly sticks. Got these shots of the band, girl driving in the rain, how every music video should start, really. Like, in reality, this is an exceptionally boring music video. The fretless bass, that was nice. Nice little fretless bass there. I love this outfit, the hair. It's so early 90s. Like, it is just so, it's way more toned down than the like 80s stuff they had going on. But they still like, they had those little remnants of the 80s hair thing going on. But yeah. She's pulling some shapes, you know. She's gotta, if you're gonna front the band and you don't have like an instrument in front of you, a guitar, a keyboard or something, you gotta pull some shapes. You gotta make the moves, you know, you gotta, she's chatting with a guy in the car. I mean, it's such a truly boring video, like, except, we'll get to it, except for, it's not. It is, but it's not. It's very boring. Like, it's also like slightly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like epilepsy inducing. Like you go from all these, it's very quick for a song that is essentially, I don't want to give too much away, but I don't know if you noticed, the love story has begun. Not the one you're thinking, but one. There is one there. Trust me. So they're pulling into the hotel and she's looking, I don't know, she looks apprehensive in the video. But in the song, she don't sound apprehensive at all. She's the one kind of guiding the ship in to the port, if you know what I mean. She's the one doing all the moves. And, you know, here's where the video gets. It's like we've gone from like, whatever. What was that look on her face? Like, what are they doing? Like, we went from this to Ghost. We went from the normal, and then now they're done. Man, he's a minute man for sure. Less than that. Is this where she gives the face? Oh no, she's like, I'm the flower. And you're like, I know, I'm not supposed to be talking about the song. Oh, there it is. She's like, don't try to find me. Like that look on her face, she does it. She is not holding back for a song that's this bad. The performance is top. Like she's so good. The vocals are on point. The instruments are hitting like, apart from this like really chunky chung. I'm not supposed to be talking about it. The video is so boring. Like I've tuned out from the video already. Too many cuts of them playing. And here we're back to softcore porn. Then we're back to like just crazy, you know, band shots. It's like, it's a mix of like 90s late night in the heat of the night TV show. Like, yeah, here's Gina Davis. I swear she looks like a young Gina Davis. Like Gina Davis and I don't know, some guy. I feel like his name's Paul. Creepy kid. Looks like the girl from Dune, where she's like, I don't know, she's been exposed to spice. Maybe the kid's been exposed to spice. And that's what she's all sad about. And he's sad. Our kid's spice addicted. What are we going to do? Don't come looking for me and don't, you know, whatever. Again, see, this is so boring. This is a boring video. It's good. It's fine. It's not entertaining. It gets the point across. It's not something when you finish watching this video, you don't go, ooh, that was fantastic. You just kind of go, well, I saw that. And there's softcore porn, back to band, softcore porn, back to band. People twirling around, holding the guitars up in the air. I mean, that's not how the song goes. I feel like that's not what they're, you know, there's all kind of guitar parts. They're all chunky guitar, chunk, with softcore porn. Back to band. Eventually we'll get back to the softcore porn again. There we go, softcore porn. Back to band. Was that a guy? Or was that? I mean, oh. It's getting deeper. The love story thickens. Is she or isn't she? It's the will they or won't they. The will they or won't they of this music video. Oh, softcore porn. Back to band. Softcore porn. Back to something. Oh. And there we have it. She did. They got together at the end. It's so wholesome. And there you go. That's the love story that we needed in this story, because the actual, there is no love story. This is not a love song. This is a hideous song of just like people just using each other for very horrible things. Like everyone in it is deplorable, like except for the poor guy who, like, you know, he was just out walking in the rain. Why? Again, why would you do that? I mean, maybe his car broke down and he got stuck in the rain and he had to walk out. But the poor guy gets picked up by this woman who lays it on thick. I mean, she's just like, I might be in love with you already. You're like, And then like she bounces the next morning, leaves him a note that's like, don't you dare ever find me. Like, poor dude. He probably had to pay for that hotel. I bet you he did. But the true love story was between Nancy Wilson and her guitar, her acoustic guitar. Because like, you know, in the beginning, she's holding that rock guitar and she's rocking out. And then as the song progresses, like you see her and she's like, she's whispering those sweet nothings to that guitar, that acoustic guitar. Electric guitar is getting jealous. The acoustic guitar is just like, oh, baby. And, you know, and then there's a will they, won't they for a while. She's kind of up there. She's like, meh. And then right at the end, you get that kiss. And I guess we assume it comes to life and she lives happily ever after in the land of wherever this is, make believe, where people pick like randos on the side of the road and sleep with them just to have a baby. That's the world that they live in. I mean, I'm sure it's happened. This is the world. Billions of people. People do weird things. Did it need a song written about it? I don't think so, but we got it. And harshest take of the day. I still like it. I know. I can't stand it. It is the most conflicting thing about this song. The song's got such a good rhythm and like for a ballad, it's still nice. It hits that like just mid-range ballad. Like it's not your like soft power, you know, it's not And I Will Always Love You or something like that. It's not like a true like power ballad. It's that 90s just soft, soothing. It gets you there, right? I mean, it takes you from A to B and you're done. And I mean, it challenges you. That sure it does. It challenges the hell out of you. But in the end, it gets you there. And it's just got a nice doom, 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 doom. And you just follow it. And you enjoy it. But then they say those things. They say the thing and it just kills me. It hurts my soul every time. And she's like, we made, no, I'm not saying it. I can't, like literally my insides will like leap 3 meters to the left. Okay. It's just not, I can't do it. It's so funny when I listen to this song. If I ever hear this on, I don't listen to the radio because who does nowadays? But when I did listen to the radio, if I heard this song come on, I would bounce. I would literally be like, all right. And then she's like, get to that next line. When we found this hotel, I'm like, poop, next song. Like I never made it to the end of it because it's just so bad. And I hate it. And I like it. It's hard. I am very conflicted, but I can't help it. They're awesome. Go give it a listen. Really, listen to Heart. They're awesome. And leave this video. Why are you here? Leave. Bye.